Alright, welcome peoples. Before we get into the exciting stuff, namely talking about Fallout 4, I want to line out what I'm going to do for the next hour or so. I'm going to run up here to the Republic of Dave, grab the Perception Bobblehead, and then we're going to work our way towards meeting Wehrner and getting that whole, the Pitt thing started. I want to go get my gun. Probably include a side trip to the house to go drop off extra inventory, namely just about everything but ammo. I want to take as much ammo as I can with me because even rounds that I don't use, you can use the ammo presses to convert it to stuff that I do use, like 5.56 and stuff like that. But anyway, all right, so we can do that while I blab my lips for about the next hour or so. I want to say, first and foremost, for those of you who have left comments sharing what you'd like to see and not see in Fallout 4 and stuff, and showing an obvious excitement and passion for the game, well, that's the kind of love and passion I have for the game. That's what I share with you guys, and I'm assuming that's why you're here watching these videos, is that's what I try to pass along to you. What I lack in knowledge, I'm by no means a Fallout professor. I don't know all the lore and stuff. I know a few times and dates, and that's about it. The names of a few... Of course, I'm terrible with names. Never mind. I won't even claim to know the names of anything, honestly. But for those of you that have even thought to ask my opinion of what I thought of the trailer, what I was looking forward to, maybe, in the next game and stuff, I really appreciate that. That's not only complimentary that you would take the time to ask and even value my opinion on well, anything, but that you would stop to leave a comment, not just watch the videos, but, you know, contribute and stuff. And anyway, that's really cool. But for all of you watching and or leaving comments and doing whatever, I want to say thanks for that. That being the first and foremost question, what did I think of the trailer and obviously now the showcase, now that it's come and gone? And I could say, well, the trailer was cool, but it was like, you know, okay, I can't wait. You know, it was obviously a teaser, right? I can't wait to see what they're going to give us at the showcase, see what they'll actually reveal and not reveal. And true to form, they stayed away from story. I mean, they made a concentrated effort to say, I'm not going to talk about any of this. That pretty much ended all that. But as far as the extra little bells and whistles that they're going to throw into the game to add to what we already had to play with in, like, you know, this Fallout 3, I think they kind of went over the top with all that, and they gave us a lot of stuff to chew on there, not just in the showcase footage and stuff, but what Mr. Howard was talking about and things. My impressions of the showcase, well, the first thing that came to mind, besides all just the amazingness and stuff of all the things that they are giving us to play with and stuff to do in the game. And I mean, it's almost like a bunch of kids in a sandbox. They all brought their toys and threw them all over the sandbox and said, what do you want to play with first, you know? And I don't want to play with that. Well, then don't. Well, I want to play with this. Okay. You know, and at the very beginning of the showcase, they all introduced themselves, you know, like the artists and programmers, and not just the Bethesda Game Studios people, but you got some people that look like from, you know, the ZeniMax Online crew, which is a different group. You know, they're not working on, well, maybe some of them are working on, like, Elder Scrolls and Fallout, but that's like a different set of developers there. Bethesda or ZeniMax were just publishing their games. Like Elder Scrolls Online, that's not the same people that made Skyrim. They're just publishing it, you know? But I'm hoping those people are involved with the next Elder Scrolls game. To be honest, the way they've written Elder Scrolls Online, I'm really impressed with the questing and the dialogue and the voice acting. All that stuff's amazing. But anyway, when all those people introduced themselves, the one overriding thing that I got from all of them was, it was kind of summed up by what that one guy said. He said, sometimes it's hard to believe I even get paid for this. And that's like the best job is one you would do even if you didn't get paid for it, right? And so if you have a bunch of gamers together that have the honor and privilege of being able to produce games, also games that they would like to play, right, and do it well like Bethesda does, those are the type of people I want making my games. What you think would be fun to do, throw that in your game. I might think it's fun too, you know? I mean, gamers, there's a lot of common ground there on what we find entertaining and the stuff that really draws us into a game. And I think if you have a bunch of people with that mindset, that gives me a lot of hope that this little next-gen baby of theirs, you know, this is actually Bethesda Game Studios' first time getting their feet wet on next-gen. Because this, you know, Bethesda Game Studios didn't make Dishonored. They didn't make Elder Scrolls Online. They didn't make those games. They published them. I'm not saying they didn't loan some artists and writers and stuff to them. I don't know about all that. But Bethesda Game Studios themselves, the core group that's making the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, this is their first next-gen thing. All right, and so this is going to be like their pride and joy. This is their showpiece. And so they had a showcase, and I guarantee you it was not cheap renting the building that they pass out Oscars to your Hollywood stars, actors and actresses, okay? That's what they do in that building. That's the one that they set aside for themselves. And I'm sure just a few hours of that is probably as much money as 100 of us will make in a lifetime. Not to mention that 50-ton monitor screen thingy they brought in to, display their game footage and stuff. And they said they had like Dolby sound hanging from every corner of the ceiling. I mean, all this stuff. And you don't put that type of money and time and effort into something if you're not proud of it. And considering these are the same people that brought us this game right here that I'm playing and that I'm still playing today, these are the same people. If you're going to put that kind of heart and passion into it, it's got to be amazing. Forget what they showed us in the showcase. I didn't dislike anything I saw. I was blown away by all of it, to tell you the truth. But if it's half of what it can be, it's wow.
Another Wasteland Survivor, huh? Sorry, but I don't got enough to share. Get your own copy of the book and do your own hunting. Ain't you heard of the Wasteland Survival Guide? Bought one off a trader, and it's the reason my family's back up to 2 meals a day. Is that so? Well, thanks, stranger. You and that Moira girl done all right by me and mine. Nice writing.
All right, so Bethesda being like this glowing orb in the sky, bestowing upon us gifts of gaming, right? Them being all that, they put themselves somewhat in a position of almost servitude. Like they took all this knowledge, all this programming, all this stuff, all this extra time, and all this money. I mean, how much money could they have made off Fallout 4 just a couple years ago? If they'd released it a year or two ago. And people, I'd have bought it, I'm not going to lie. Even if it sucked, I still would have bought it. Okay, so, but you spend an extra couple years spending money in development? Oh, wait a minute. Let me shut up for a second.
Family and I have taken refuge in a drainage chamber not too far from a radio relay tower outside of DC. My boy is very sick, needs medical assistance. Please help if you can. We're listening for your response. 3950 kilohertz. If anyone can hear this. This is Bob Anderstein. Family and I have taken refuge.
Okay, it just repeats itself. It's a loop. It's probably a 200-year-old loop from Survivors from the War. But actually, I found this drainage tunnel. I'm pretty sure I have. Coming this way, looking for the Perception Bobblehead. I don't. It's like tucked off in some little rock clusters like this. I don't know. I've come across it by accident, but of course I can't find it when I look for it, right? But anyway, how much money could they have made off Fallout a couple years ago had they released it then? But they didn't. They spent money over the last couple years continuing to develop and pack as much stuff as they could into it. All those things like the settlements and the customized everything. Every single item is you can not only interact with it in the environment, but you can break it down and turn it into other stuff and refine it and use it for this and that. I mean, that's some over-the-top stuff. You're talking about them also trying to include other people, like people that enjoy other genres of games might actually come into Fallout and find something they really enjoy doing. It may only be one aspect of the game, right? But if they enjoy that, well, then do that, And how awesome is that? So their investment, I'll tell you what, if, anyone wants to look at Bethesda Game Studios, they're one of the big kids on the block, right? And they're going to be despised just because they're that, right? The bottom line is when you put that much care and passion, when you give that, which is all a gamer can really ask for from their favorite developers, is for them to give that type of care, compassion, time, and focus to their product, right? To the games, then when they do that, I mean, they need to be acknowledged and rewarded for that. So I'll tell you what, if the game is $120, I'd buy it. In fact, the collector's edition is probably going to be more than that, and I will go buy it if I can get my hands on one. That type of thing. They totally got that coming. Especially considering all the developers out now saying, what is the least amount we can get away with charging them $60 for? That seems to be the common frame of thought with a lot of developers these days. Let's just cut a corner here. Oh, that's a little more trouble than it's worth. Let's just forget it. I think Bethesda said that's a little more trouble than it's worth, so let's spend an extra 6 months and invest another $20 million into that, to figuring out a way to put that into the game, And it looks like that's what they did. And I'm impressed. Okay? But anyway, so that whole frame of mind, that whole spirit of gaming that they kind of came across with. That's what I noticed first from the showcase, besides all the details. Now, getting into the game, certainly I'm not one of these that takes, a copy of the trailer or the showcase footage and, breaks it down frame by frame, pointing out little things and stuff. And that might be kind of fun to do, but, I haven't set aside to do that. Busy enough with this right now. But right off the top of my head, a lot of what I saw just in the showcase footage especially, looks like they're adding so much more to the game that, I'll tell you what, this game in and of itself, Fallout 3, is almost intimidating. I mean, some of you guys have left comments since I've been doing just this Let's Play, and some things I didn't know about. Like a hidden sniper rifle by Megaton. Well, that may be common knowledge, but I didn't know it. And I played this game a lot. I've paid my dues. I've put in my hours here, and I didn't know about that. And it's like you're always learning something new. Now it's like they're doubling and tripling the amount of stuff. From what I understand, not only is the map going to be so many times bigger, right? But they're packing more stuff into it, and you can do something with everything in it. That's crazy. That's like a life stealer right there. Honestly, I hate to limit my audience, right, guys? I don't want to narrow the viewers. I don't want to, alienate any of you guys, but I will probably wind up devoting a good portion of my channel, if not my channel completely, to Fallout 4 once it's released. Aside from just Let's Plays, it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff, weapon combinations. One thing I did notice from the showcase was when the guy was going through, all the different mods you can put on guns, and I swear he made like 65 billion guns out of one gun. It was ridiculous, okay? If one of you, I forget who it was, you were like, hey, I would like to see this and this in the game. What would you like to see? And I remember my response was, I've always kind of wanted to put a silencer and a scope on my own 10mm submachine gun. Kind of like Sleepy Time in New Vegas, but I'd like to make my own and run around the game like that. And apparently there's about 50,000 different silencers you can possibly put on any gun, not to mention stocks and clips and scopes and what have you, right? And so it's kind of like, what would you like Fallout 4 to give you? My answer was I'd like an apple. And so what does Fallout 4 deliver? It delivers an apple orchard, the house and the barn and the farmland, 15 farmhands to help you harvest your apples, some cider, a pie, and every other apple-based product that's ever been made ever, cooked for you daily by a flock of... that's what they give you. And all you did was ask for an apple. So it looks like they basically tried to set the bar so high that it would be essentially impossible to ever scale that. And then what it seems to me they're going to try to do with their next gen game is get above that bar and keep setting the bar ever higher. And well, you can't ask for any more than that. If a company's willing to do that, if they're stressing themselves to constantly do better and better, then that's enough. That's enough for me. So anyway, keeping in mind their last projects were, back in the day it was Oblivion and Fallout 3 kind of went hand in hand. Then you got Skyrim, what would have been Fallout 4, but of course they had the next gen come out, so now we have Fallout 4 here. Then we'll have Elder Scrolls 6 wherever that comes out. Well, for Elder Scrolls fan, if Fallout 4 is any idea of where their mind's at in making their games, then Elder Scrolls fans ought to be doing backflips and probably playing this game just to get an idea of the awesomeness that Bethesda is going to be capable of. Without showing up everybody else in the industry, they showed up everybody else in the industry, in my opinion. Now, for those that aren't interested in Fallout whatsoever, honestly, I would think they would have probably garnered some interest from those people also. But, maybe, obviously some of the other stuff that was talked about and will be talked about, through the course of E3 and post E3 and stuff like that. Okay, that may be exciting, but for any RPG fan, pretty much, period, the scope and the style and the direction they're headed with Fallout 4 ought to just be blowing people away. I was not expecting them to talk about what they talked about, to give us some of those things, like not just making the settlements, but providing a place for merchants to come and stay so you can have access to their gear, and then being tasked with defending those merchants and defending those settlements and possibly erecting several settlements and becoming somewhat of a baron of the wasteland type of thing. And running something, I don't know if you could set up your own version of government. There wouldn't be much law in the wasteland other than don't take my shit or I'll kill you. But still, you know, you can establish these settlements and even set up poster boards and banners and things like that, and lighting to advertise and display. And I mean, come on, man. It's like, seriously, it's a bunch of kids just got in a sandbox and just said, what could we do? And then whatever anybody threw out on the table as an idea, they made it happen, no matter how ridiculous it was. That's what it seems like to me. And if they had that much fun in the development room, what we're going to get on the receiving end, you know, on the playing side of that game, I think, honestly, I don't think anyone's really seen anything like it. I think they're once again setting the bar. They're once again setting the standard for which everybody else has to meet up to, you know? And they were a little bit behind, and I wonder how torturous it was for all the guys at Bethesda, all the ladies and gentlemen there, to not only hold their peace, but to not release their game a year or two ago. Because you had, you know, the big ones, like, you know, Inquisition coming out, and then everybody else, you know, of course, The Witcher 3 and all this, and, you know, all these people pulling out their big guns, and I'm like, wow, seems like Bethesda, instead of pulling out their big guns to fire off, they're shooting themselves in the foot by not saying anything. And then I realized that they had more on their table than anyone really would have believed, and I think their thinking was, you know, the ends will justify the means. When we do finally show them what we've got, they'll see why not only we've been quiet about it, but they'll see why it took so long. And I think that's the case here. They didn't disappoint me in any way, shape, or form by anything they showed me at the showcase. And that's not being a Bethesda fanboy. That's just being overwhelmed by the possibilities of what you could do with all those things they gave you to play within a game. It would take probably several hundred playthroughs of several hundred hours each to explore and utilize even 50% of what they're giving you in the environment. And I think that's their thing, is a game that you could still be playing 10 years from now. This game, it's, believe it or not, Fallout 3 came out in 2008? I can imagine people still playing this in a year or two, even with Fallout 4 out, people still going back just to go get the feels of the Capital Wasteland, right? And that would be 10 years later. You know, I mean, it's feasible. So if this is any case, hell, Fallout 4 might be played and modded perpetually forever. I don't know. It's crazy. I can't really grasp just how big that game looks. So needless to say, I'm impressed. But okay, some of the details. Let's see. Wait, hold on. All right, we're fixing to come up on Republic of Dave here, right? Okay, this is where the Perception Bobblehead. This place has a funny little side story.
Stop! What do you want from the Republic of Dave? This is the Republic of Dave. Duh! It's named for President Daddy. But you have to talk to him if you want to stay here. Okay, I'll take you. But President Daddy doesn't always like new people. Okay, follow me.
Okay, so obviously President Daddy is named Dave, right? And his republic, his country, is this cattle pen or whatever. Okay, this little 10 by 10 square foot fenced-in area, that's his republic that he's eventually going to conquer the wasteland with. Or so, I don't know. Anyway, he's here with his couple of wives and his various children and stuff, and he's schooling them to worship Dave and follow Dave and understand the history of Dave. And I think Dave took over from his dad, who was also named Dave or something. I don't know. There's even a little bit more background to this guy. But anyway, it's just one of those ridiculous little side things in the game that you come across that makes these games unique. Anyway, I'm really just here for the Perception Bobblehead. I'm not going to go through the quest. The quest is where you can convince everyone to vote for someone other than Dave. And it's pretty funny. And then I think Dave leaves and goes and gets suicidal somewhere. I don't know. I think you can stumble across Dave later in the game if you go that route. But anyway, or maybe go find him in Underworld or something as a ghoul. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Just ridiculous. What's up? I just wanted the bobblehead mainly. And now we'll loosely make our way towards where we have to meet Wehrner and start the pit. I really, really want my gun. It's way overdue. Like I said, I'm going to stream this probably end of October, early November. Start streaming this, waiting for release. I'm gonna have to have something to do the day before release, leading up to midnight. Oh, those last
there, sister. You're giving me
8-10 hours are gonna be torture.
Now.
Yeah, I'll be sure to do that. Here, let me just empty my pockets for you. You're obviously an experienced robber.
What?
By the way, your gun's not loaded.
I mean, shit. Look, I'm just gonna go. Forget about it.
Yeah, go start another career. I'd retire the whole professional burglary, robbery thing you got going on there. I don't think that's going to work for you. But anyway, okay, some details. Let's see, some things I personally noticed. Now, like I say, I'm not taking like, you know, a trailer clip off to the side and going frame by frame and dissecting things like, see this picture of this? It's a picture of that. Okay, well, I don't need to tell you guys what you're sitting there looking at, right? But let's see, some things I noticed that are going to be pretty cool from what I can tell is when the guy was modifying all of his weapons in the showcase, he was going through, you know, he was turning that one gun into like 50 million different guns. That's just insane. I was, my mouth started watering then. I'm like, you know, it was just awesome. But down in the bottom corner, you could see that when he would put some attachments on, there would be a bonus like maybe extra range, right? But then there would be a subtraction like maybe a lower fire rate or less stability or something like that. And so what I see is if you want certain things, you're going to have to pay for it. And that to me is a key to an RPG when you're coming up with a build, is that every action has a reaction. Every bonus has a consequence. In other words, if I want to do better at this, I'm probably going to have to either take something away from that or be worse at that. You know, like if I want to do more damage, I take more damage type of thing. And so those types of things right there are what, in my opinion, allow for you to make builds, different kinds of builds. And in an RPG, if you can just put your points anywhere and it works, then there's no point in a build. It's basically, how do I build my character? Put your points and shit and go shoot things. If that's the answer, then that's really not an RPG, that's an action game. I don't care how many skills you have available, if basically no matter what you put points in, allows you to just do shit, then that's not a build. A build is something where you find something to be really strong in, and then you find other skills, perks, and equipment to factor in that compensate where you're weak. Okay? And that's a build. In other words, if you want to be a damage dealer, how do you be a damage dealer and do enough damage to where you can kill shit before it kills you? Type of thing. How do you compensate for the damage you're taking? Or how do you overcompensate for the damage that you're dealing? So you do an exceptional amount of damage, not without using any cheats or exploits or anything like that. How do you take the tools they give you in the game, use them to make the most maximum beneficial build that you can, right? And that's the stuff that I'm into. So it looks like equipment's going to play a part in that. You know, if you have to take care in the stuff that you build on how it plays into your character build and the things that you're trying to do, then I'm totally down with that. Because what that tells me is that you can take a weapon, right, and customize a weapon, and that can be your gun for the game. Or you can have a collection of certain types of guns that specifically play into your playstyle. I love a high rate of fire over accuracy. Well, you can have that, you know. I like a silenced weapon. I like being sneaky. Looks like you can silence just about everything. I don't know if there's a silenced rocket launcher. I forget what they called it. Looked like it had another name, like Scrapjacker or something like that. But whatever it was, you know, they had stuff like that, and it looked like there were all kinds of, just a million different variations. It looked almost limitless, you know. And looking at all that, I was like, wow, it doesn't get much better than that. Not for a player like myself. That's something that I could just min-max just forever, you know, and coming up with all kinds of different combinations and things. And then it looks like it gives you an excuse to go hunt for materials and look for stuff. And probably some of the rare items to find are probably being guarded by, you know, the stronger super mutants or the harder raiders. Oh, that brings up another thing. I saw like a raider Psycho, which brought in a little bit of almost a Borderlands feel or something, Mad Max type of thing going on there. The Deathclaw had a kill animation, if you noticed. He picks you up before he goes to slice you in half with his switchblade claws. Thought that was badass. Of course, the power armor, I watched when he was cycling through the arms and legs on the power armor, that each one had different stats, right? Each upgrade or mod or add-on that you could put on the power armor, but that also he cycled through the T45, the T51, the T60Bs, Okay, we're different parts from different armors. And I would speculate that you will have to have found those sets of armors to have broken down to get those pieces. Hopefully there's a little bit of the MMO type of thinking in that a piece that you salvage may not give you all of those pieces in return. Like, you might find some usable stuff, but some unusable stuff. Like, I might be able to get springs and plates, but I don't get pistons out of this power armor leg or something, you know? And so you might have to kill multiple enemies in power armor, or go collect several suits of power armor to get the particular type of stuff that you want, of a particular quality and stuff like that. I mean, how awesome is that, you know?
Ha! Look at this! New blood! Tell me, girl, you ever hear of the Enclave? The last remnant of the good old USA they are. Now, I don't know you from Adam, but I got you pegged for a patriot, and any patriot worth her salt is gonna toss her gun in for the Enclave. Any day now, they're gonna roll up here, and then this nightmare will be over for good. But listen to me, Ramble. I'm Nathan. What can I do for you? Why? Why? Look around you. This is the good old USA. Sure, she looks a little bit different these days, but you're still on American soil. And even if you were born in some underground vault, you were born under the United States, which makes you an American. And it's your duty and my duty to support our country and our president, no matter what. Understand? Why, that's unthinkable. Where in the Constitution does it say that we're supposed to run around questioning the government? Huh? Well, when you put it that way, wait. You're just trying to confuse me with your fancy vault education and your textbooks. I'll have none of it. Did you have something else you wanted to ask, or were you done with your crazy talk?
Making a point here.
They're on the radio. They have been for years. President Eden talks about everything they're doing. They got flying robots all around, watching everything so they know what to do when they finally swoop in and clean this place up. You'll see. People think I'm just a crazy old man. Things will be different when the Enclave gets here. They're the American government, the Eagle, People Comma We the more perfect union. God bless the Enclave.
Huh. Did you know the human body can survive without the stomach or spleen? Oh, what's up?
Okay, so Nathan is one of those that that old man Nathan there. If he sees it on the internet, he believes it, type of thing. The iBots are only mean us well, right? They're only looking for opportunities to do good, right? I love how when you actually give them anything resembling intelligence or truth or being educated in any way, shape, or form on a matter, I don't have time for that. The sheep will never do. No, the sheep will never have time to question or do anything but be led blindly. He's got a rude awakening coming to him too, by the way. We'll see that much later in the game, but yeah, he's going to get his eyes opened in probably in the only way they could be opened, honestly. Oh no. Okay, he's got his weapon out. He's stuck in combat. One little buggy bugs. Alright. Well, it's easily fixable. We'll see if he can just knock himself out of it. I don't think so. Alright. Okay. What I'm going to do here... just, back out completely. I think I'll just, as they would say on Xbox, dashboard it, reload the whole game. Okay, well, whatever enemy had aggroed him, at least apparently has popped up. We'll let him go. It's probably something like a stupid bloat fly or something. Who knows? Alright, I should be able to talk to him now.
Look who it is. What have you got for us today?
Okay, the cool thing about him is he just straight up gives you the 5.56 ammo. Or grenades, or I think Radaway or stim packs or something, but yeah, I'm just looking for the ammo. Alright, so get rid of everything. Tell you what, another thing is, well, if you're looking for a particular... Well, if you're looking for 5.56 ammo specifically, say you like the perforator, or you like, say, the Xuanlong assault rifle, the Chinese assault rifle, which is probably the best assault rifle in the game. Probably so. Damage-wise, I think it is. Anyway, whatever, if you like that gun, you like a lot of 5.56, you can go buy laser rifles, laser pistols, plasma, any Enclave power armor, any of that stuff that you get. And instead of selling it, you can come trade it to that guy for lots and lots of ammo. Not to mention things like, you know, scrap metal and stuff like that too, so. Notice the enemy's got a little upgrade too, since we were last up here. This is why it's good to have dog meat around. I'm not going to sit there and take all those bites from a scorpion trying to blast him in the face with 50 rounds. Sorry. Of course, it'd be nice to get my gun skill up a little bit, too. I've been investing in just about everything but that. But it's coming. We're getting to about that time where everything starts getting dumped into the stats that I actually use. Alright, so let's see. Alright, regarding the showcase, we talked about the weapon mods, right? How I like how, you know, each one slightly changes the stats of your weapon, right? Depending upon how you want to play. And then you got the scopes and stuff like that, so it looks like I can get my ideal silenced, stocked or unstocked, whatever, submachine gun hybrid with a scope or without if I want. Looked like there may even be reticles, you know, as well. Like, you know, red dot type of stuff. Holographic sights, whatever. I love how you can use things like baby bottles, microscopes, the lens from an alarm clock for your scope. Come on, man. Anything that has glass in it, that's badass. That's pretty cool, because it's semi-realistic, and how they made it to where everything in the environment serves a purpose. I think that's just badass. And it looks like your armor's the same way. Now, he showed power armor. What I'm kind of wondering is if you could take several sets of Raider armor, or something, or Merc armor, like sleeves off, say, a Merc Charmer outfit, and put legs of a Merc Adventurer outfit, you know, something like that. Or take Raider Pain Spike top and put stuff, or if it's layered to the point that you can actually put additions onto your armor. Like,
Let me take a look.
say pieces of metal might be better against, I don't know, might have better energy weapons resistance. Say if I was making a leather set of armor and I wanted metal, would it show like slivers of saw blades or something stitched into my armor, you know, to make it more reflective or resistant to laser weapons? Just for example, something funky like that. I mean, everything's going to be a play off, you know, how it might actually work in real life. So I'm just wondering, or is it just specifically geared towards power armor or things that are mechanical? But it'd be interesting to use materials from different things to make stuff. Like, if you notice Raider armor, some of the Raider armor that I picked up here incorporates all kinds of stuff. Pieces of rubber tires, what is it, sieves, you know, that you use in cooking, for bra cups and stuff like that for the female characters. I think on this set of armor I have right now, it's like 2 sieves, you know, 2 little funnel filter thingies that you use in cooking, right? And stuff like that. So if that's the case, if the materials you use to craft armor in the real world reflect what you used, if I don't know, I'm just curious. I guess I'll see when I get there. They don't have to have done that, but if they did, I'm gonna be like, oh, I love you, man. Let's see. I'm sorry about this dog meat, but I'm gonna have to set that car off on these assholes. Boom! Mini nuke. I love that. Can you imagine what car accidents were like before the war? Cars going off like mini nukes on the freeway. Yeah, the world's a hostile place. These Talon mercs, they're just annoying. And apparently, I haven't spent any time getting a really, really bad karma, so we're getting a lot of these guys coming after us. But if we were very evil, it would be a lot of the regulators. The ones in the long trench coats. Similar to the coats that the Rangers wear in New Vegas. Kind of like that. Or the Sheriff Duster. In fact, what's his face? The Sheriff in Megaton. He's got basically a regulator coat. Something real close to it. If I'm not mistaken, you can get a copy of the Sheriff's Duster in New Vegas also in Prim. But you have to get it before the before you find a deputy. Whoever you make the deputy will go and claim the coat for themselves. Even Prim Slim, the robot, if you make him the deputy, he doesn't... It'd be funny if you run around wearing the Sheriff's Duster. Okay, Prim Slim needed to wear that, but I don't think I remember him seeing him in it. But if you make him Sheriff, it'll still disappear. I guess since he can't wear it, he still takes it home as a keepsake and wishes he was human. Or something, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Some other things I noticed. They alleviated my one big fear. My absolute biggest fear was the whole being stuck with a particular protagonist, like just a male character in maybe a set linear storyline, at least up to a point. That's how that shithole rumor was, you know, about how you were stuck playing one character and you did a certain thing, and then after the story was over, you could go ahead and do your own thing. And I'm like, that's what did they do? Hire a whole new company calling themselves Bethesda? That doesn't even sound like them, right? Of course, they alleviated all that. They said that the first and foremost, before anything and everything, was player choice. What you want to do comes first. What you would have fun doing and how you want to play your game, that's first. They're the most mod-friendly game developer ever, as far as that goes, you know, because they want you to get in and do your thing. Especially you PC guys. You know what I'm talking about. You guys have been modding Bethesda games forever. And I mean, most of that stuff is in place. I think it's just a line or two of code, and some of that stuff just comes right out of the game, doesn't it? You don't really even have to put it in there. It's kind of already there, a lot of it. You know, so they're definitely pro player choice, pro player freedom, doing what you want to do. So they alleviated all that. I even noticed when you could pick, I like how character creation, you know, you made your face in the mirror in the bathroom, you know, in the morning, waking up that Saturday morning before the bombs fall. Not, you know, it's just another day. That's very cool. I'm sure that's going to set a big part of the tone for the beginning of the game. It's just another day. You know, mom and pop, got the kid in the next room, white picket fence, got a dog out in the backyard, got your family robot making coffee in the morning, you know, ready for breakfast, and, you know, all this, right? Just your typical American dream early weekend morning before you go off to the beach or go picnic or barbecue out, you know, this type of stuff. And, so you're sitting there in the bathroom and just having another day, and that's where you decide who you're going to play. And apparently, when you leave the mirror, that's the character you're stuck playing. I think that's really cool. And also I saw a, where it looked like ABXY. So I'm assuming those were either Xbox footage, Xbox One footage we were getting at the showcase, or that it was, PC footage, but being played with an Xbox controller. I guess that's possible. Either way, the Y setting looked like you could change the sex. Now, I don't know if you could change the sex of both people, or if you press that, that's what dictated which character was in the mirror. But anyway, whatever character you finish with and set their looks for and stuff like that, and walk away from the bathroom to explore the house and go on, you know, with the rest of the tutorial section. That's who you get to play from that point forth. And I love how they even have pre-memorized names in there, where he said, you know, he put in his name Howard, and the robot actually called him Howard. And I'm sure a game's done it before, but I don't know of one where whatever your character name is, you're referred to that way in the game by NPCs. So he said Howard was one of over 1,000 common names that the game will recognize, and so apparently your name can be spoken to actually immerse you in the world. Like if you want to feel you're part of the world or your character is part of the world, NPCs will call your character by name, unless it's something probably either really profane, really perverted, or really exotic. you know, but like some of your probably North American typicals, you know, type of thing, like, you know, James or John or Sue or Sally, you know, this type of stuff. But you know, if it's over 1,000 of named, hopefully over 1,000 for each gender, then you could put in just about anything, or name your character at least close to something that you really want, and even be referred to vocally. You get the audio that way in the game. That's kind of huge. That's amazing. And then let's see, what else did I see? While they were running to the vault, did anyone notice when he ran out in the street that there was first you saw a Vault Tech van, right? But I saw a tank. And it wasn't the tank like you see in the Operation Anchorage, like the big Camaro. It wasn't that type of thing. It was a smaller tank, not a whole lot bigger than a than one of the whatchamacallit, the vertibirds. Wasn't a lot bigger than that. And I wonder if you'll have access to either drive one of those or at least use one of those for parts or something like that. That'd be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to make Fallout Tank Command type of thing, right? And also, if you noticed, it showed footage of while you're in the vertibird, that you could either land the vertibird or jump. So apparently that's a form of travel that if you want to cover a large section of ground, that at any point you can either land the vertibird or halo out of it. And I guess when you hit the ground, you can go and explore that area. So if there's a region that you don't want to spend 2 days walking to, I guess you can vertibird to it. I wonder if there's a fee for it, if it's like a cab type service. And I wouldn't doubt that there's a faction or something that you have to join just to get the privilege of getting to. I mean, I seriously doubt everyone in the Fallout 4 universe is allowed to freely run around in vertibirds like they're taxi cabs. So maybe it's something as soon as you join the Brotherhood of Steel or the Enclave or whoever's active there at the time, or perhaps depending upon which faction has their own version of vertibird. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I mean, it leaves a world of opportunity open for things to get involved with and do in the world, and a new way to explore. Like, instead of just fast traveling from one location to another, you can actually vertibird there and back, and stop off in between if you want to go explore an area where you haven't been, or to get to an area that you can't reach on foot, right? Maybe a small island or something, you know, an area in the middle of a lake that's submerged or something. Yeah, I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Just wow. Holy crap. Okay, you know what? I really like silent running. I really do. It allows for, well, obviously to move around faster when you're sneaking. Looks like I'm probably going to have to invest everything in that. You know what? I can spend a level doing that. It's not really that big of a deal. I'd like to throw some points into speech and stuff. One of you guys had talked me into pretty much not going for every speech check, you know, as I normally do. I know pretty much most of the speech checks are. I can pretty much pass them. But to actually, you know, pay the consequences, so to speak, if I don't pass them, which usually not. Usually just passing them leads to funny dialogue and in an item, which I'm not going to use anyway. But just for the whole realistic sense of it, that if I have a low charisma, odds are I couldn't talk anybody into anything. No one's really going to like me, so I guess there's something to be said for that. And sure enough, it doesn't really so much affect my gameplay either way. I've got my stuff that I'm going to play with. Whether someone likes me or not is kind of irrelevant. If I cared that much, I wouldn't have a 1 charisma anyway, right? But fair enough. So I'll eventually dump some points into charisma. So there, nanny nanny boo boo. All right, now we got that radio broadcast from that one signal tower, but the regular power plants like this don't usually provide those things. I know I've activated some of those relay towers elsewhere in the wasteland before, and some of them just give off static, but they'll show up as an actual signal, like I don't know, signal Alpha Zulu or Zulu Omega, or you know, something like that. And especially up here in the northern area of the map, I guess because we're relatively in range of the main military base here, where even some of the missile silos are up here in this area. I had a suspicion at one point that if you, some of them even have They seem to be like somewhat coded. In fact, one place you can even find activation codes, I guess, to launch missiles. I think it's in the 3 satellite towers that are nearby here, which is now a raider base. But we'll see it here. We're actually really close by to it. And oh, are you serious again?
Well, now, if it isn't...
I don't even want to hear this dude's mouth. Can't we just talk this over? I feel like, oh man. Okay. Yeah, dog meat, go draw their attention real quick. Let me find something I can fight with. Well, at least I got some guns. Usually I try to come up here basically stripped bare. When I stream, you'll probably see me run up here in a, with a single hunter's rifle and whatever set of armor I'm willing to just throw away. Which I don't really care about this armor I'm wearing here, but I'm gonna head back to the house anyway before I go, so I can go drop off literally everything. Any quantums, Abraxo cleaners, you know, stuff like that. Okay. These dudes, man. I think I'm getting shot from like 3 different directions too. Dog meat, they're over there. Draw their attention for a second, would you, buddy? Appreciate that. Thanks. I guess I'll be using all these up. Let's see if I can crank these weapons up just a little bit. Yeah, there were 75 apiece. Well, 50. These are the hardcore mercs. I guess because we're leveled up enough now. That sounds about right. Anything above level 11, 12, 13-ish, they start sending out the big guns. I'm surprised we haven't seen any like albino rab scorpions yet. I don't know what level they start popping up. Probably about 15, maybe. I don't know. If we looked hard enough, we could probably find one right now. I wouldn't doubt it. Well, this gun isn't doing shit, is it? Man, that dude's pale. Apparently he only comes out of the house to do assassination contracts, right? Dog meat's keeping him busy. Laser weapon, something else to trade off to what's his face at the Outcasts, right? This dude's just enough. Enough is enough is enough. Oh, just die. Keep him stun locked right here. Yeah. Blow up, bitch. Enough of you. Yeah. We can even take a look at those. They're all going to say basically the same thing. Somebody out there doesn't like do-gooders and they want us dead. Yeah. They want us dead by name. Alright, well, whatever. I win. Anyway, so there's my thoughts overall on the showcase and what I'm looking forward to. I couldn't be more happy. I was in no way, shape, or form disappointed or let down by any single thing. Any of you expressing negative feels from the showcase or having, if they didn't meet some expectation or whatever, I don't know what more they really could have done as a game developer. You know, I mean, each to their own. Everyone has an opinion, whether they be a good one or a bad one. There are such things as bad opinions too. But who am I to judge? But you know, I honestly, I can't see having a problem with any part of that. It looked like they went so above and so beyond that they were setting a bar for themselves, that they'd have to work even twice as hard as this to ever get above it, you know? And that says a lot. So you know what? If nothing else, just for trying to put out the coolest thing that you ever saw in your life ever in video game history ever, you know? Just for trying, then, you know, I got to give them kudos for that. Because I honestly believe, just from what I saw, that that's what they've done. You don't just throw all that stuff in there just because. You do that with some thought. You say, what would be fun? What would be cool? What would I enjoy? What would they enjoy? What would the fans enjoy? How could we improve upon what we've already done? How could we do what we've done without taking away from what we've already got? And then balancing all that and coming out with an amazing product. And like I say, you know, the dialogue, voice acting, you know, now we have a voiced protagonist. I don't think that's a good or a bad thing. I just think it's a little different. It's something they've thrown in there. If it gets enough negative feedback, they'll probably move away from it on the next game. Depending on where the negative feedback is coming from. If it's from the obvious trolls who give negative feedback just so they can be different, because like I say, they didn't get enough attention at home, so they need to be noticed by giving something contrary to what everyone else is doing, then okay.
Thank you for your help with those
But
guys. They finally tracked me down.
I think it's going to be amazing.
You've come about the broadcast, right? Risky, I know. But it had to be done. So you know who I am. Who are you? Well, look at you, moneybags. Right down to business. Gotta respect that. But before you get anything, what I need you to do is to take a trip with me to a place called the Pit. It's a city to the northwest of here, a long way away. I want you to come with me and help me steal something that will free my people. To put it simply, we're slaves. We're some of the only healthy survivors, but we're forced to work like animals. Yeah, that's why these guys were after me. As long as I know about the cure, I'm a threat. So I ran. And you can be damn sure there'll be more of them coming. The Pit's a mess. Nearly everyone who lives there is either sick, dying, or worse. It's the water. And the air, you can't escape it. You stay there a few years, and no matter what, it'll get you. But the bastards who have my people, they found a way to cure it. And once they have that cure perfected, we don't stand a chance. So we need the cure to bargain for our freedom. Well, you might try a disguise. They probably won't let some random armed waster pass the gates. But if you look like one of the working stiffs, you should be able to slip in with no problem. Lucky for us, a group of slavers is nearby waiting to make a sale. You should be able to get one off of them. They're off to the west, near the tunnel that leads to the pit. That should be our first move. Okay, you go get the outfit. I'll stay here and meet up with you when it's done. I'll meet you up by the tunnel that leads to the pit. You go get whatever you'll need for the trip. You won't be coming back here for a while, so keep that in mind.
Now, I'm not going to get into a slavery issue, but the way it's portrayed, right, assuming this dude doesn't rub you wrong like he did me right off the top, this whole bullshit with money bags and his little thing and him just being just a sleaze, which he absolutely is. He's not any more for his slaves than anything else either. And it's not coincidence that he has some repertoire with the slavers, right? Which you'll see. But besides all that, this cure, once you find out what it is, what the slaves plan to do is exploit it and eventually kill it, but in the process extract from it whatever they can just to help themselves in the short term, which will eventually wind up... basically how that turns out is they not only all wind up dead anyway and overrun by a lot worse people than what they're enslaved to as it is, right? But that the cure is also lost in the process, right? We're going to find out that the quote-unquote good path in this is absolutely evil. And the quote-unquote bad path, based on popular political sensitivities, is actually the good path. Is that sometimes hard choices have to be made in the face of bad... Uh-oh. Okay, well, I probably don't want to mess with him. He's already aware that something's around here. His noses are sniffy. Smelling me out over here. Let me... okay, it'd be nice to get on top of this rock and hide from this dude. Yeah, I don't want to fight a Deathclaw right now. I don't have enough ammo in all my guns put together to do about quarter of the damage necessary to kill this guy, assuming I could stand here long enough. Now, if Dogmeat was right next to me, Dogmeat would have already gone and picked a fight. And Dogmeat could probably solo that Deathclaw. I'm not lying. But think I'll avoid it all the way around. Kind of test some of my sneaky here. Like I say, silent running is awesome. Because basically it treats all movement and stealth as if you're creeping. Movement speed plays a huge part in your detection. Up until you pick that perk. After that, that perk is helpful. Considering I'm not getting the Chinese stealth armor and going for the God mode, chameleon, invisible BS, you know. I'm actually playing this straight up. Then I think I'm going to utilize my sneak every once in a while. It's funny, if you've been playing Skyrim a lot, you kind of expect the drum roll. Da-da-da-dun, then you show sneak, leveled up. You've leveled up sneak. Okay, so we've got till November 10th. Fallout 4. November 10th. That's not so bad. It's much better than like next year or something. Some of the people who have revealed and are revealing their upcoming games, I think like the Mass Effect one, which still don't know anything about. I'm just excited for it just because it's Mass Effect. I think it's a holiday of next year. You know, the Christmas after next type of thing. And so, you know, I'm sure next E3 they'll have, you know, their big showcase. They'll have their big reveal on what they're going to do with it. They've been working on it a while, so, you know, I'm sure it's going to be pretty impressive in its own right. You know, they're sinking lots of pennies into that. Sometimes if you just back button and wait for an hour, dog meat will show up. Also, this is a good way to get dog meat dead, because if he gets trapped outside the map, or maybe the game considers him being attacked by every enemy on that side of the map all at the same time while he's immobile or something, and then gets pushed through the map and then dies, or anyway, sometimes it'll give you the message that dog meat has died because of something like that. Not actually in combat, but it'll like basically throw him through the map. Or he'll get stuck somewhere, and then you'll just get a note like 3 days later saying that he got bored and went back to Vault 101. I think that's actually true with any follower. I don't know if once a follower leaves, like I believe you can catch your follower walking back to Vault 101 from whatever location you abandoned them in. But I think if you're away from the area, though, that they're essentially invincible. I don't think I've ever lost a follower that got bored and went back to the vault on the way, you know, that ran into trouble type thing. I don't think so. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get the key to the slave pen.
Unless you're looking to take a vacation from your freedom, you'll get the fuck out of my face.
Wow. I was going to say you probably shouldn't have said that, but since I know you shouldn't have said that, I'll just say you shouldn't have said that. Okay, I'm going to kill you for that. That's said and done. There is a speech check that you can pass with this guy. I'll show you how we roll with speech checks with 1 charisma. We don't pass any of them. Barely any of them.
Are you from the pit? I thought you were supposed to be a guy.
What does that mean? I could pass that automatic.
Good try, but no. Now fuck off before I put a...
Okay, well, okay. How about I don't fuck off and we see who puts a bullet in who? Or, I'll get around the corner over here. Let's see. Yeah, better heal up. Okay, well, I'm addicted to that now. Awesome. That's cool. That's easy to fix. Not a problem. Well, he's pale too. What's up with these slavers? Michael Jackson shooting me with a 10mm over here. And it's happy clown face on. Oh shit. Well, out of ammo for that. Okay. Duck around the corner again. See what else I got. That's what you get for not carrying your whole armory with you. And this dude's fast. Agile son of a bitch. Take that. I'm gonna go drop all those off at the house, too. Alright, good deal. Okay, now, I think if you pass the speech check, he gives you the slave pen key, and you can, like, buy all the slaves from him. Or something, and then, I guess these are slavers that have gathered slaves from the capital wasteland and sending them to the pit. Alright, so you're supposed to be a representative of the pit, or something. And also, if you were supposed to be a guy, it's possible they were waiting on Wehrner himself. Maybe Wehrner runs slaves for the slavers in the pit to get some taste of privilege from the slavers in the pit, maybe? Wouldn't put it past a piece of shit.
Oh my God! You killed them! Are you real? You're here to save us? Where are we going? Wait, we're free? You're serious? You killed them and we're just free to go? You're either the kindest person in the world or the dumbest. Either way, thank you. I can help you. It's the least I can do.
Prosper.
What is it?
Where does Prosper... Why is Prosper familiar? That's...
That guy over there on the mattress died last night. I never did get his name. If you don't mind the smell, you can just take his. We will. Thank you again, stranger. We owe you our lives.
Yeah, but you're gonna go get yourself enslaved again. You're ready to enslave yourself to me. Where are we going? Shit, I'm not your man. Some people too quickly led. Oh well. Alright, so here's my slave outfit. And this is actually good because it weighs almost nothing, and I'll take that back. This is that raider outfit. Where's it at? There it is. Consolidate some of this junk. We'll take a look at our little slave outfit here in a minute, and then we'll just roll with that, and then just take a gun. A gun I'm willing to just throw away. And actually, that's what we'll do. So we'll throw away some stuff and then stash other things once we get there that are keepsakes that are specifically from the pit, and we'll bring them back with us. Anyway, all right, y'all take care, and thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. All right, looking for Fallout 4, and we'll have this to tide us over until then. All right, till later. Y'all, bye-bye.